have a winner!
Realistic sports and racing games are among my least favorite genres. Generally, if a game is something that I could just go out and do, I'd rather go out and do it. I prefer fantasy over reality. The other kind of sports and racing games are the more arcade variety, the ones that get a little bit crazy. These can range from the high-octane and glorified aggressive driving of Burnout to Mario and friends playing tennis with paintballs. These are the things I like, with the Tony Hawk games being at the forefront of my youth. Then along comes Downhill Domination. God damn, what a boring cover. But if you've seen my other Quickies, you'll notice a pattern that appearances can be deceiving. Man, I'm predictable. Downhill Domination, developed by Incognito Entertainment and published by Sony for the PlayStation 2 in 03. It's about bike racing. But this isn't your grandma's bike racing game. This is downhill. This is mountain bike racing, and they do everything they possibly could with that idea. When I think of Downhill Domination, I think of effort. Absolutely nothing is half-assed in this game. Even something as simple as a character select is given an unnecessary coat of polish. They could have just given you a simple grid like most games would, but instead they place all the characters on a mountaintop with a rotating camera and give every single character a unique animation when they jump off the cliff. Effort. Even what would have been fine as a menu is a beautiful level of passion that I wish I saw more often. And that level of effort doesn't stop in the gameplay. No. This game has combat. Did it need it? Probably not, but it's there. You start off just punching the bikers next to you, but then you upgrade to a kick, a bike check, a stick, and finally you can whip bottles right at the heads of people in front of you, committing vicious assault on your opponents, all in the name of sweet victory. It's rather cathartic. Other than combat, there's also a trick system, and I love how every facet of the gameplay feeds into each other. Besides making you look stylish as fuck, doing tricks as well as harming your opponents or riding on the more difficult Black Diamond paths in the levels will earn you points that upgrade your weapon and recharge your energy to ride faster. It creates a beautiful high-risk, high-reward scenario where you're encouraged to trick and risk crashing, which will set you back and give you a lower-tier weapon, in order to stay brimming with energy and have bottles to knock out anyone who dares pass in front of you. But the single greatest thing about Downhill Domination is the levels. There are 24 different tracks to ride on, separated into 3 different level types. Free ride are long tracks down the side of a mountain. These are the most detailed maps and the bread and butter of the game, each track lasting between 3 and 5 minutes at high speeds. Mountain cross are short, man-made tracks with many dirt ramps and platforms. These are the kind of tracks you would expect to see in real mountain bike races. And finally, there's technical downhill, which are medium-length courses that are harder and with more twists and turns than freeride. Each track takes place on one of 9 mountains inspired by real-world locations. There's Italy, the Grand Canyon, Hawaii, Peru, Russia, Scotland, Japan, British Columbia, and Salt Lake City. And each takes full advantage of their locations. The Red Pass has chasms, abandoned mine shafts, and natural caves. Mount Little Rock in Scotland brings you through castles. Zorkavaska in Russia is covered in snow and filled with military outposts. McShley in British Columbia brings you through lumber fields and a mountain golf course. Salt City is entirely developed, bringing you through a neighborhood, police chases, parks, subways, and construction sites. And Kanawaki in Hawaii is on an active volcano. Even the first level, which is the most plain and standard, has a storm start halfway down, starting a wildfire. These levels are huge, detailed, and totally full of personality. Every single course has multiple paths, shortcuts, massive jumps, tricky Black Diamond routes, and many even have animals, pedestrians, and vehicles as obstacles. Every time you go through these courses will feel like a new experience if you take the time to find new paths. It's beautiful. And don't worry about a shortage of content. You have the Super Career, which takes you through every track in the game, Specialized Careers, which focus on each of the 3 track types, Arcade Mode, which is a set of 13 courses for each character, Freestyle Mode focuses on objectives instead of speed, custom tournaments you can set up, unlockable characters, unlockable videos, and a cash shop to buy a whole slew of awesome bonuses like new bikes, a poster maker, and even some gag items. This game starts off pretty normal, but eventually you're an electric monster wearing a camelback riding a lamb down a volcano. My god, I love this game. There's also a multiplayer mode. I'm so lonely. But some aspects of the game get a little weird. It's a common thing for sports games to have sponsorships based on the sport they're about, and Downhill Domination has that with GT, Trek, and all these other brands I've never heard of. But they also have some odd ones, like Subaru, Sobe, Mountain Dew. eBay? Why the hell eBay? Did this marketing actually work? Were people really coerced by the billboards in this game? Did anybody play Downhill Domination and start craving a cool, delicious can of Mountain Dew? And Monster.com? The job search site? Is this an insult? Saying that people who play video games should get off their lazy asses and find a job? Because that hits close to home. Downhill Domination is incredible, and I am so pleased that even after not playing it for over 10 years, it still holds up and even exceeds my nostalgia for it. It is so deserving of a sequel. With 1,000 coats of polish, incredibly detailed and varied levels, an in-depth and rewarding trick system, personality oozing out of every orifice, and a total disregard for taking itself seriously. This game is worth remembering. Every single aspect is masterful. The gameplay is superb, the levels are amazing, the visuals are strong, the soundtrack is actually pretty mediocre. That's the one thing I don't like about this game. Well, that and Surprise Bears. Seriously, this is the first time I've ever said this on my channel, but go out and buy Downhill Domination. It is worth the resurgence. Buy it until the retro game market takes notice and raises its shockingly low price. You can buy it on eBay with the money you earned from that job you found on Monster.com. eBay is truly a great site where you can buy and sell anything you could ever